Hi, this is Tom Shanahan. I'm the author of Spiritual Adrenaline, a lifestyle plan to strengthen and nourish your recovery. And I'm also a founder of Sober Active NYC. Sober Active NYC is a group of people who have come together, most of whom live in the New York City area, to celebrate exercise and nutrition as part of their recovery program. And Sean Stampley is one of the people who's come to join Sober Active NYC. Last year, he took the Spiritual Adrenaline Challenge and he lost 22.7 pounds over the course of the challenge. He reached out to me at the very beginning of March when the quarantine, the COVID-19 epidemic was just getting started here in New York City. And he's got some exciting plans to lead walks and help other people integrate a healthy lifestyle into their recovery, again, as part of Sober Active NYC. So Sean is here to join us. And Sean, why don't you just go ahead, explain to folks what the challenge was about and what you're going to be doing for Sober Active NYC.
Hey everyone, my name's Sean, avid walker and spiritual adrenaline participant, as Tom said. I'm really grateful and happy to be here. I reached out to Tom a few months ago when the pandemic was starting to have a really negative effect on our lives, when the world was starting to fall to pieces. Because my fear number one was that people's sobriety would be in jeopardy. Number two, my own sobriety was in jeopardy. Just dealing with these factors that we've never had to manage before. It puts you to the test, and it put me to the test. So, yeah, like I said, initially I reached out to Tom. I was really eager to figure out things that I could do. As the pandemic took hold and the effects started to impact my life more, I sought comfort in those bad habits that I wanted to protect, that I didn't want everyone else to fall into. Sleeping in, eating, negative self-talk, all those things that affect us as addicts normally were far more powerful in this situation. So I gave in, I didn't jeopardize my sobriety, but I jeopardized my health because I found a way to consume sugar. I found it to be very comforting. That was my drug. Sleep was my drug. YouTube was my drug. So I got locked into this world of eating, sleeping, and watching YouTube and being obsessed with social media over the course of about 2 months, right? So the effect was not great. I gained a good amount of weight. My self-esteem took a pretty big hit, and I felt awful. And then, I reached back out to Tom, and I was thinking about what we might be able to do to help people again. And what do I do that's healthy? Because we all have something in us that we do to take care of ourselves. And one reason that I really like walking is because it's really accessible to everyone. All you really have to do is get up enough motivation to get yourself off the couch and out the front door. You don't need a membership. You don't need fancy shoes. You don't need equipment just to walk. And walking a little bit every day has a great benefit, health-wise, emotionally. And the way that I go on walks, I do it as more of a walking meditation, not focusing on actual walking, but focusing on my environment. I lose myself in nature. I find my higher power while I'm walking. The mood that I start off with when I walk out the front door is not the mood that I have 10 minutes into the walk. So it's a pretty incredible habit to get into. It's a pretty healthy habit to get into, and I'm really eager to share this with other people.
Let me just jump in here, because last year during the challenge, you were different than the other two who were in the challenge, in the sense that you didn't want to work out. You weren't comfortable working out in the gym environment. You wanted to do the walking. And so you put together basically your own plan where you would walk miles and miles. You would keep track of your miles, adding up the steps. You go to some really beautiful places. I remember you sending me last year photos from the beach, and you lost 22.7 pounds. You actually did amazingly well, and yet you found the right fit for you, right? So for someone out there who's maybe not athletic, maybe you said, I think you put about 10 pounds back on during the quarantine, then you decided that's enough. I'm going to get back into my walking routine and paying attention to what I'm eating. So for someone out there who feels stuck, who doesn't feel comfortable, let's say, in a gym environment or being around, people that are working out with weights or as part of classes, how do you recommend they get started with the walking? And what was it about walking that enabled you to really see the kind of progress that you did? In other words, I remember when we started and you'd already been walking, but you started out with smaller treks around the neighborhood, and then you went to these longer kind of walks around different parts of the city. But a lot of people, don't have the confidence that they can really get out there and do that. So what's your advice to people? How do they get started? Because I think that's what I'm trying to say. Getting started is the hardest part. It's 90% of it, right, is showing up. So what's your recommendation to those people? And again, if you could just touch on the benefits that you saw, both as a person, a resident of NYC during this time, but also as someone in recovery. Okay, where traditionally we don't always have exercise or walking or those kinds of things as part of the overall plan. You and I both follow a 12-step path, but oftentimes that's not included there. So what are the benefits for someone in a recovery setting?
Well, number one, no one needs to discover something about themselves that they're not good at. Everyone can be good at walking. I love this beautiful city that we are very, very fortunate to live in, and a lot of people have not had the time to appreciate what we're sitting on top of, and now a lot of us do. You can always make time in your day. You can always cut out an hour of social media and get outside. So my advice is just take that first step one by one. You want it to be something that you actually enjoy, and who does not like getting out and being surrounded by beauty, removing yourself from the things that frustrate you, and surround yourself with beauty and nature. It's that easy. It's that easy. Keep it simple, keep it easy, and make it fun. I didn't like being inside. That's why going to the gym was such a hard thing for me. And then I would always compare and despair. I would see other people working out that were in a lot greater shape than I was, and it made me feel a lot less than. It made me feel like it was something that I would never be able to acquire or attain. Anyone can put on their pair of shoes and go out for a walk. You don't have to start off walking 15 miles. You can just start walking a few. And the cool thing about New York is there's so many things to see as you go along the way. You don't even realize how far you've gone. I was telling Tom that last Saturday, I walked from my house up in Bedford Park to Orchard Beach. That's 6.7 miles away each way, roughly. And it was a pure joy getting out there. I didn't notice until I sat down and was enjoying the beach that my feet kind of hurt a little bit. And then I was thinking about, I got to get back home. But it was no problem. You start off small. And the best thing about it is after a month or two of walking, you will see physical results. You will lose weight despite what you think. I mean, if you eat well and you exercise more than you eat, it's just the science of losing weight. And the cool thing is you notice that you're losing weight, your pants are getting a little looser, your face is a little less puffy, and it makes you feel good. And then you want to walk more and more and more. And then what I do is I challenge myself to go further than I did before. I'll make a point off in the skyline that I want to walk to, and I'll do my best to get out there. And it feels great when you actually make when you achieve these little benchmarks that you set for yourself.
Well, you're going to be leading. You've offered to lead some hikes. I call them hikes, but they're really walks in different parts of the city. Let's share and people can find out more about Sean's walks around New York City by going to the Sober Active NYC Facebook page. But what are your top walks? Last weekend, you sent me photos. Blew my mind from the top of the George Washington Bridge. You weren't jumping, you were going across over to New Jersey. And then you sent me some beautiful photos from Fort Lee up on the top of the Palisades, those beautiful cliffs. So that was amazing to me. What are some of your favorite walks in New York City? And what walks do you anticipate leading for Sober Active NYC?
Each borough has something really amazing to discover. So I find a few key places in each borough to go to. So number one, the easiest, most central is Hudson River Park in Manhattan. no one really, like, if you're not from here, you don't realize how much green space there is in the city, especially Manhattan. Everyone thinks it's this giant concrete jungle. It's not. The entire western shore of that island is basically a beautiful green belt. It's flat, it's easy to walk, and you can set, you know, what I do is I start at the Intrepid at Pier 83, and I look south, I look downtown, and I see One World Trade Center off in the distance. And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna walk down there, or walk as far as I can to get down there. And I do. I really, really love, like Tom said, walking over the George Washington Bridge, because you're so high up, you get such an amazing view. And then when you get to the other side, to New Jersey, you can go and explore Fort Lee. You've got Palisades Park right there, so you can make it as short or as long as of a workout as you want to. And it's flat. The city's as flat as a pancake. I used to walk in Seattle, which is very similar to San Francisco. Hills, hills, hills from hell. Going 2 blocks is quite the workout. So here you can cover huge distances and not, you know, physically strain yourself too much. Van Cortlandt Park is amazing. Pelham Bay Park is amazing. You can lose yourself on the trails there. You feel like you're in the middle of the Sherwood Forest, and you're right outside of the Cross Bronx Expressway or whatever that is. So,
You know, one of the things that we do at Sober Active NYC, Sean, is have the workout and then a meeting. So tell me how you envision these walks. You're going to be walking with other people. What's going to go on during the walks? Is there any interaction between the folks? And then what happens at the meeting afterwards? Give me a little bit of a view into how you see that happening.
you know, when I go for a walk, what I really benefit from is quiet introspection and taking in the environment and being present in the moment. So many times, like when people go on walks normally with friends, they end up chit-chatting and they miss everything that surrounds them. I love to be present in the moment, listen to the sounds around you, even the traffic, the birds, smell, look, feel, just become part of that moment. Like I really love, like if you watch an old movie from the 70s and they'll have a scene where someone's like sitting at the beach and you'll hear like a radio ad, and that radio ad from the 70s marks that moment in time. What I do when I go for a walk is I mark the moment of time that I'm in. I make myself present for the present. And it's a really powerful experience. So what I like to do, you go for a long walk, you take in the sights with people, and then at the end, first we walk and then we talk. You discuss everything that you felt, you discuss everything that you noticed, you compare and contrast the things that you found to be interesting or annoying about the walk. It's a really communal and powerful experience.
Is, presence is the opposite of addiction. You're completely there and in the moment, as opposed to off in some imaginary la la land fueled by alcohol or drugs. When I asked you about how walking had helped your recovery, you wrote that that's where you find your conscious contact with your higher power. It's where you see that you're part of something bigger and that you exist within a system of life and not at the center of it. I mean, that's a beautiful, beautiful statement to make. And you'll be showing other people. That's the great part about Sober Active NYC. You'll be sharing that gift with other people who may really need it right now because of what's going on with the quarantine, the pandemic, the social unrest, the financial insecurities, a lot of things hitting people all at one time. So I'll give you the last word. And I'm so excited for you to be part of this. Your experience, strength, and hope is liberating and it's empowering to me. So what's your message again? If people want to come and do a walk with Sean around different parts of the city, they can go to the Sober Active NYC Facebook page. But for someone who's saying, should I stay here on the couch and watch reruns of Sopranos or whatever it is they like to do, or turn off whatever and go walk with Sean, what would you say to them right now? What would they expect and what will the benefits be?
Reclaim your life right now. As you know, these are times that we've never seen before, and you absolutely have a way to cope. We've been isolated for months, and we do not have to be that way. We can enjoy each other's company. We can enjoy regaining our health. we can enjoy strengthening our sobriety. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And to share that with people is something that I think it's just absolutely priceless. I'm an isolationist by nature, but I think that doing this with other people, what you what you gain from these walks, you can pass it on to others as well. But again, just reclaim your life and reclaim your health.
Enough said. Thank you so much, Sean. I'm looking forward to leading your walks. And again, anyone out there who would like to participate in one of the walks being led by Sean, you can go to the Sober Active NYC Facebook page and you'll sign up on the events page. Sean, thank you so much for your commitment to helping other people. You can't keep what you have without giving it away. And I think you're going to open people's eyes up to just a whole new experience in the city they love. Thank you so much.
Thank you as well. Very grateful.